I just found an at-home cavitation device that sucks, literally, because it has a vacuum attachment that sucks away all your cellulite. But I did not expect that. It is ow! Oh my, I'm gonna get like cut. But does it actually do anything? Let's find out. I was sent this 5-in-1 cavitation device by Surebeauty to test out, and today I'm going to share an honest review of my experience setting up this machine and using it for the first time, and then of course what you're really here for, the results. Do not make the same mistakes I did because I ended up with some injuries. But before we get into all that, I think it's important to understand how cavitation actually works and why you'd want to consider a machine like this at all. A cavitation vacuum device works by combining the low frequency ultrasound waves with vacuum therapy. You start with the low frequency ultrasound waves that are emitted by one of these devices. They cause the fat cells to vibrate. Supposedly, the vibrations create bubbles and the bubbles implode, and that breaks down the fat cell membranes and releases their content. Then the fat is naturally released through urinary and lymphatic systems. With adding the vacuum in, it helps to mobilize the fat cell and improves the blood and lymphatic circulation. So by boosting the lymphatic drainage with the vacuum, you're more efficiently removing the cells that the waves have broken down. So when used together, the waves are going to break down the cell and the vacuum is going to help to circulate those cells and remove them from your body. That's the theory. Jumping ahead, if you're already convinced you want to try this at home, Surebeauty did give me some promo codes, which I will link in the description box. Some of the codes are good just for their Black Friday sale and they expire December 3rd, but I do have some other codes that will extend beyond that period if you're watching this at a later time. I'm unboxing the 5-in-1 cavitation device, and I went online to try and figure out what was the difference between the 3-in-1 and the 5-in-1, and I think it's a vacuum, which I'm kind of excited about because if it can like suction things out, that's really what I want. Whoa. This looks intense. I don't know what this is. I'm excited. So setup is pretty self-explanatory. I did rely on the little booklet that they included, although I find the materials that they share, there's definitely a language barrier with the communication. So you've got to be a little intuitive with the information they're presenting, but mainly you're attaching all of the pieces here, the end and the hose, and then the little trays for the devices to rest in. Look at all the knobs. I feel like this is something NASA would develop. I mean, this is pretty amazing that this is in my house right now. This one literally says vacuum. And I'm guessing it's with the hose. I mean, is it actually suction? Like, where does it go? Is there a disposal unit? Do I have to empty it? Maybe I should read the instructions. Machine installation guideline. I was doing that all wrong. Okay. Look, this one's right and this one's wrong. And I have no idea what the difference is between the two. Do you remember that magazine, hide and seek, or what was it? Hide away, hide something, hide and seek, whatever, that magazine, you had to like spot the difference. Like, what is the difference between those two? I cannot tell. Oh, one of them's not in all the way. Oh, okay. I can see that now, actually. The 5-in-1 does come with 5 different attachments. The smallest one is for use around the eye area. The next size up is for the rest of your face. So your chin, your cheekbones, your forehead. And then we've got this girl, I'll call her medium. She's good for like your underarm area. And then we have Big Daddy. Big Daddy is what I use because I did focus on my legs and my stomach for this experiment. And so Big Daddy worked for all of that. And then the Hungry Hippo, because this one was insatiable, and we're gonna get into all the folly that came with this attachment here, because they do recommend working out and eating well during this whole process to see the best results. I was super excited when fedfitness offered to send me this Flybird adjustable weight bench. Nick and I had actually been looking for an adjustable weight bench for the garage. We're trying to build up our at-home gym. We've got a couple things out there. We've got a Peloton bike and a tread and then some free weights, but really wanted to have a bench. We had been looking for something that you could adjust to be both flat and incline so that you can do things like shoulder presses and chest flies and things from different angles. And when FED offered to send me this one, I was like, yeah, we'll try that out. This one's got some additional benefits to it. So first of all, when it arrived, super easy to set up. We put it together in probably 20-25 minutes. You did have to screw on the legs and screw the pieces together, and there was a lot of packaging because it's a big box. What I love about it is how easy it is to get that incline and adjust it from the flat position to the incline position. I can do that easily myself, and it's strong and durable enough that Nick, who's much bigger bigger than I am can use it for his weight as well. It also has a couple of neat features. One is a little footrest. So if you are doing reclined crunches, for example, it is going to give you some stability for your feet to go under. And then the other thing is, I was just looking at the listing on Amazon and see that you can actually fold it flat, which we haven't tried yet, but I'm sure we'll figure that out easily. And then you could actually store it up against a wall if you had limited storage space. Super impressed with this so far. We just put it up the other day and have been enjoying using it. Holds up to 800 pounds. We've both already used it and we've only had it in the garage for a day. fedfitness is also running a Black Friday sale and they're offering 25% off of this bench. So take advantage if you've been considering an at-home weight bench. And again, I'll link all the information down below so you can check it out. So tips that they share that are important to remember when trying an at-home cavitation device for the first time is, so first of all, the fat cells are released through your lymphatic system and urinations. So I'm strongly encouraged that you hydrate frequently and often during this process so that you can flush out those fat cells. The machines break them down, but then they need to be peed out. So you have to stay hydrated so you can flush your system. Number two, you need a conductive gel to really penetrate your skin because it is using those sound waves. It needs to carry through some medium. If you apply it directly to your skin, number one, the vacuum, well, you'll see. The vacuum was a mess the first time. Oh my God, it's actually sucking. Oh, ow, 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 ow. But if you did not use the vacuum and a gel, I can only imagine. Number two, you just need it to have that penetration. It's going to penetrate much more deeply and glide over your skin. And the idea is that you're moving the pieces around. So it is important that you're using a gel. Surebeauty sells a couple of gels, which I've linked down below. I'm not sure that it's important that you use their gels. I'm sure there are substitutes that you could use, but it was convenient to get them from them as well. The one heating gel is the one that I used, and it actually created a really pleasant heat around the area that lasted for several hours. Although I will say a couple of times I thought I washed my hands really thoroughly and then I touched my eye or my lip and I found that later I was feeling heat in those areas even after I was really certain I'd washed my hands well. So just a caution there that it spreads and you really need to wash your hands from that heating gel. It does say to remove all metal objects from your body before using the device. And I did take my ring off just because I didn't want the heat gel on it, but I still had my earrings and necklaces on, and maybe I did that wrong, but I didn't really notice anything. So that's a warning that they give, but I forgot to do that. Another tip they suggest is to start at the lowest frequency and work your way up. And I did find with Big Daddy, I was able to tolerate all the way up to the max amount, but I started at a lower frequency and then worked my way up. And then you do want to be moving the devices around, and they have suggested patterns on their materials that show little circles or little lines. I was really confused if the direction of the lines mattered or not, because a lot of times they have it going in versus out. Like for your stomach, they want you going in, and then your legs, they wanted you going up, not down. So I tried to follow their pattern, but I wasn't sure if that was super important or if that was just the way that they drew them. I don't know, but I tried to move it around and go in the order that they sent. They do recommend allowing 72 hours between treatments to allow your body to flush and reset and whatever. I've only been able to use it 4 times up to this point, and there have been well more than 72 hours in between each session. A couple other notes, they recommend that you diet and exercise during the process and that you don't use it on your chest, your breast area, your head, your heart, and your back. Due to the frequencies that are emitted, we don't want to endanger ourselves. So I had tried the 4-in-1 device earlier this year and enjoyed using it, and honestly just wasn't consistent with keeping it up. So I was excited to get back on the bandwagon and try this one out. The first step in the process, which is just the general Big Daddy radio frequency device. This time I chose to target my stomach area and then my upper legs. Okay, here I am on the floor in my bedroom with this massive machine that looks like it actually belongs in a doctor's office. It looks very legit. Wearing a sports bra and my bathing suit bottom. I thought I had a bathing suit top that was just black, but I could not find it. So I could half swim and half go to the gym, but I'm here for you. This session should take about 45 minutes. I remember with the 3-in-1 cavitation device that it took me a little bit to kind of figure it out. I'm expecting the same thing with this one, even though I've gone through the process before. It's a little overwhelming. Look at all these tubes and connection points. I mean, it's a little bit like you're in the Matrix here. So I'm gonna dive in and figure it out. I'm also gonna do this on the floor because I learned from last time when I was working on my legs that I had to balance them on the counter. And after like 10 minutes, that's a long time to hold your legs up in the air. So I thought sitting on the ground might work a little bit better. Okay, like last time, they sent me 2 different packages for putting on before you apply the machine. This one is the hot cream. I did not read this last time, and your skin does warm up, and it actually remains for a long time in what I experienced to be a very pleasant sensation. I could see though where if you have sensitive skin or you don't like feeling warm to the touch on your skin, like think of an icy hot or a Bengay. It's kind of like that experience. And if that is not appealing to you, you might want to avoid this. But there does need to be a conduit for the electricity. So you need to have some kind of topical that is applied to protect your skin and for the electricity to go through. You can't put it on bare skin. I applied it and then I actually washed my hands because I think I remember last time I just wiped and then my hands started feeling hot. Washed my hands. Let's go. Power on. I am rolling this bar up my leg. I can hear it, the electrical current. It's actually like a very tinny sound in my ear. I'm gonna do this for 10 minutes on this side, then 10 minutes on the other side. Then we move to the vacuum, which I'm super scared and excited for. I'm 4 minutes into this and just realized I have the protective plastic wrap still on the end of the device. So don't do what I did. Here's another mistake I just made. I am 8 minutes into this and I realize I don't have the right setting. We look over here on the buttons. I was using the 40K and I had the vacuum mode selected. So I did not have the right mode selected. So lots of buttons you have to remember to have in the right place. I remember this from last time that the first time I felt like I did the whole thing wrong. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to it now that I have the right mode selected and see if it feels like anything different. You also have to select a power level. I've also run it at 0 before and forgotten to do the power level. So many steps to remember to have to do. So my first 10 minutes may be a bust. Then it was time to use the vacuum. Y'all, it was so bad. It was so bad. What I didn't understand from the materials and what I want anybody who's considering using this device to know before you even think about using the vacuum is that there is a dial right here and it was for me turned all the way up. And that was creating a really terrible experience for me. And you can see I'm pushing it back already because I don't want it to be left in that awful position that was so terrible. The experience was really bad. The vacuum, and y'all look at the tube on this. This is insane. Is it gonna literally vacuum my fat? I hope so. I can't wait. Okay, let me check if there's any protective coating on this. Let's do like a 4. I've also heard that it makes a sound, so let's listen to it. I'm gonna do 10 minutes. I don't hear anything. I do see a red light. Okay, I'm gonna put it on my skin. Let's see what it does. Oh, vacuum mode. Hold on. There's a whole thing of vacuum modes. Vacuum mode. How do I know what mode? Should I do, it's on 0. Should I do like 1 mode? Oh, there we go. Okay, now I hear it. Oh, it's sucking. Oh my God, it's sucking. Oh my God, it's sucking. Oh my God, it's sucking. Oh my, that I did not expect that. It is little, ow. Oh my, I'm gonna get like cupped. Okay, wait, I need to do 1. I did not expect that. What the heck? Oh my God, it's actually sucking. Oh, ow, 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 ow. I think I need to read the instruction. I don't think it's supposed to do that. Okay, what? What is happening? Ow, I don't like that. That hurt. Okay, that was a 1. Do I need to put on, I'm gonna put more cream on. I'm gonna put more cream on. I put more cream on. I'm a little scared to go back because that was only level 1 and it was like getting stuck on my skin. But for you, I'm gonna try it again. Okay, so we're going to the vacuum and I'm just gonna do 1. I'm scared. I'm literally scared. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, how do I get it off? How do I get it off? How do I get it off? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, it gets stuck. How do you do this? Okay, it's like getting stuck. How are you supposed to do this? It's like not sliding, it's just getting stuck. Okay, I'm gonna try one more time and then I'm gonna message the rep that I've been working with and ask her because I don't think this is working right. I'm scared. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. Oh my gosh, I don't like this. Oh my gosh, like how do you end it? Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And it goes up to 5? Frick. Ow. Okay, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Even for you. That hurts. Okay, ow. What is wrong with this machine? And do people do this? Okay, I'll go back and do this a couple more minutes. So far, ow. Ow is all I can say. That was traumatic. I didn't like it. No bueno. No bueno. I'm hoping this is user error. I'll report back. I'm bruising already right here from that section. Okay, I'm done with the leg part. I actually bumped it up to 7 and I could probably bump it up a couple more. I must have touched my upper lip at some point because now my upper lip is hot. So really be careful with that hot cream because yeah. All right, I'm gonna move on to stomach. I am scared to use the vacuum until I talk to someone because that was painful. All right, here we go with the belly. My legs are nice and hot. I could not figure out what I was doing wrong, and I ended up watching another YouTuber who was reviewing this device, and she shared about it. But I don't know why they don't make it more clear in their communications that this is a big deal. This can hurt you. I was bruised the next day. So I'm watching this girl's video, and she's saying this mode right here is the power mode, and I had it all the way up. It was shipped to me all the way up. Why would they ship it all the way up and not instructions about having this down a little bit more? I'm gonna actually try this one more time. This is still my first day. Go to vacuum, go to mode 1. It was turned this way. I'm gonna turn it this way. Let's see if that makes a difference. Okay, I can tolerate this. What the heck? Oh yeah, okay, that was it. God, why don't they tell us this? Okay, that's a little much, but still doable. Okay, so that was it. This little knob right here. So I can tolerate this. Ooh, that's actually kind of fun. You can see it's suctioning, but not quite as much. I wish this would have been more clear in the instructions. Yeah, this is tolerable. All right, and I'm out of time, so I'm gonna have to do this the next time I use it. I wish they would have been more clear about that. That's what I found with the instructions the first time I used this, is they really don't explain a whole lot in the manual. Good thing you have me. So that my first treatment, I will say I attempted the vacuum, but I will say I did not get a good vacuum experience because I could not touch it to my body. It was painful. And so I ran out of time because I had allotted a certain amount of time for this treatment. And so I was not able to actually get that vacuum. So when I say I have had 4 treatments, I've actually only had 3 of the vacuum treatments. So perhaps with a longer time period, I would have seen greater results. So there is a time commitment with this. They have places like Cool Sculpting, and to go to a place like that, you've got to drive across town, make an appointment, you know, do all those things. Cost-wise, those are super more expensive. I think treatments, you know, start at $500 or $600, and often you have to do multiple treatments. So you might be, for one area, looking at, I don't know, $2,000 to treat an area, whereas this is under $300, and with the savings from Black Friday, much less than that. So the convenience and the cost of doing the at-home treatment is going to be a much better way to go. Effectiveness, we'll talk about in a minute. So before I go into my results, I will give the disclaimer that I was not able to use this for as long of a time period and as many times and in as close succession as I was hoping to before filming this. So I've had very limited experience with the device. So the first time I used it, like I said, I didn't even really get the vacuum to work well because I had the dial in the wrong position. It has been 72 hours since the first time I tried to use this machine, and I did end up with some bruising on my leg from the vacuum, but realized what I did wrong and I'm gonna try it again. So I have my warming cream on, and I'm gonna start with a 40K, and then I'm gonna go use the vacuum now that I know how to dial it down. I'm gonna try it on 7 today. I feel like on the last machine, I was able to do it at full force, so full is 9. So let me try 7 and see how that works. I'll be back. Okay, I'm going in for the vacuum. Let me change the mode. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit. This seems very tolerable. Turn up a little bit more. So it's kind of raising my skin away. Okay, this is a little tight, so I'm gonna do it down a little bit. Okay. But at least I know how to do it now. It's kind of pulling my skin off of my body. I don't know. It's supposed to vacuum fat. Will it work? Who knows? You can kind of see how it's working. All right, 20 minutes of this. So I did the vacuum on my legs and I've got some kind of like broken capillaries, some redness. Didn't really hurt, but I didn't really notice anything right away, but we'll check in and see how these babies are doing in a little bit. Now I'm gonna try it out on my stomach. Second time I used it, I feel like it was a good treatment. And then I had a work trip and I was gone for a full week. And on that work trip, around the third day, I went to put lotion on my legs like I normally do. And I just thought, wow, they feel tighter. Like the texture feels better. And then I thought, well, I'm super susceptible to the placebo. I'm super placebo susceptible. Wow, that's a mouthful. So then I thought, really, am I really, or am I just imagining it? But I did have that thought and impression for a couple of days while I was on my trip. Like, yeah, my legs actually feel better. Like the texture doesn't feel as bumpy. They felt just smoother, I guess is the word for it. So I did have that impression a few days after my first real treatment. Then I came back from my trip and I've used it 2 times since I've been back from my trip. This is my 4th time using this machine. And I'm gonna start with legs again. We'll go to that one and I'm gonna try it all the way this time. So what are you doing when you're doing your treatment? Well, generally, I'm filming, so I'm looking at you, but also I'll just have my laptop there and I'll put up a YouTube video or watch something on Netflix, or, you know, you've got one hand, so you can't really do a whole lot because one hand's moving the device all around. Okay, I think I'm pretty competent with the vacuum mode now. So I'm going to change my mode. Nope, change my mode to vacuum and make sure I'm on the, nope. Change it to the M1 and then I think I'm good. I'm gonna hit start. Okay, here we go. So when I feel my legs and I put my lotion on in the morning, they feel tighter and smoother. Now I will say I have not changed my diet and I have not changed my workouts. I've not lost any inches or anything like that. But when I feel them, when I touch my own legs, the texture feels better. So that's been really exciting to experience. Let's go ahead and look at these before and after photos that I took. But before I get into them, I'll just say, this is my body. I'm 51 years old. I try and work out and eat healthy for the most part, but I've got years on me. I'm exposing the area that I am most self-conscious about for your benefit, so you can see if something I don't feel good about, I can have a change in, but just please be kind in the comments, and you all have bodies too, and just be nice. Okay, but let's look at the before and after of just the front of my leg here. And I feel like you don't really see a big difference. I feel like if I zoom in super, super close, maybe you can see that the skin texture looks a little bit smoother, but I feel like I'm stretching to see that. That being said, this is a photo, and when I touch my own leg, I feel something. It does feel different. So I'm not sure the photo is actually doing it great justice. I can't figure out how to take exactly the same before and after pictures. So I actually took a picture of the way that my camera was set up and where my light was positioned and all that. But what I didn't take a photo of is where I was standing. So I couldn't remember exactly where I was standing when I had my lighting set up. Anyway, I'm trying. If you look at the side view, kind of the same thing. I feel like maybe you can see something, but I also feel like I'm really stretching and reaching. Like it's not apparent in the photos. Like if I were you looking at these, I wouldn't even necessarily know which one was before and after. And the stomach, honestly, I noticed nothing, like nothing. I do have my little perimenopause belly going here that is new in the last couple of years, which is woohoo, super fun. And I was hoping to address some of that. I don't feel like it did anything. And Clearly the angle in the second photo is different than the angle in the first photo. So you're seeing totally different muscles and a different stance. And that being said, I will just tell you, I don't notice anything in my stomach. So this machine may or may not work for the stomach area. I'm not really noticing results. Final comments and takeaways. I might keep going with this. The challenge for me, honestly, is the time to sit and take 45 minutes to put on the cream, set up my laptop so I'm doing something while I'm doing this device, and just sit there and let the device work. I suppose I could do it in the evenings when I typically will watch TV. I just don't have a ton of extra time in my life. Say if I was prioritizing having cavitation done at an external location, this is going to be a way better way to go because you can do it whenever you want. You don't have to be at the whim of their appointment times. The cost savings is going to be amazing. And I do feel like with continued use, I would see some additional results. I do actually feel a difference in my legs texture when I'm touching my legs, which feels nice to me. I'm not quite sure how visible the results are going to be, and at the end of the day, I'd like other people to notice it too. But I am curious about the process, and so I might try and do this once or twice a week moving forward, and I'll keep you posted if I see any additional results. Check out the description box for a whole bunch of codes that you can use. They're all like Sierra and a number, like Sierra 40, 50, 60, 70, etc. And depending on the amount that you're spending, you can apply the appropriate discount if you want to try out the 5-in-1 at-home cavitation device for yourself. Thanks again to both Surebeauty and fedfitness for sending me their products to try out and share with you. Happy Black Friday shopping. They both got their discounts. And if you want to check out my original video where I tried the 4-in-1 cavitation device, it's a little bit less expensive, but it doesn't have the vacuum. So if you want to check out a different model, check out that video and I'll see you over there. Bye.